Okay, I'm on. So, this is the random week. This is just where I just go on and babble about whatever. Of course, that's kind of what the last episode ended up being too, because I was just tired. Now, not so much tired, I'm just disorganized today. Like, that's new. So, but this one's for YouTube as well, so you get to see me. And anyone who's watching right now, I never said it was going to be pretty. And howdy. So, I just realized that my theme music isn't my normal theme music. It's the first one I came up with before I corrected it. So now I need to, fix that for the next podcast. Anyway, hope everyone's been doing well. Just been a typical busy week over here. Joseph was going through training for his new job, which training went very well. He starts his new job tomorrow at 6:30 in the morning. Okay, so wow, that's an early moment. And then I was working. It was supposed to be just regular 8-hour shifts, but it ended up being, of course, long shifts because they're training me for a new position, and we had a lot of work come in, especially on Monday and Tuesday. It was ridiculous. And then that's pretty much that, other than just trying to get things. In case you're wondering why I'm looking around a lot and why you saw me seeming like I was fighting with something, it's because I got 2 of the little monsters in here with me, and every once in a while I wonder, what are they doing? Like, here, come here, over here, come here, TB, come here. Oh, I'm just gonna fall. This is the one that we dare not say its name in public. Say hi, Tar Baby. Look at how big her head is. No. Tar Baby. Oh. Okay, and down. She's the evil one that we're lucky doesn't have thumbs. And Streaky. Streaky Zarel, come here. Come here. Come here, little Streaky. Oh, yes. And then, of course, Streaky Zorel. Are you going to say anything, or are you just going to purr? I don't know if you can pick up the purring on the microphone here, but this is Streaky. We're going to try to get her in for a guest shot next week on the Superman one because, she's Streaky Zorel. She's a super kitty. And she may have something to say about that. Now, that has actually led to a question that's popped up in the past, though. And that is, wow, my eyes just look so tired. That's not the question. That is, if a cat were a supervillain and another cat were a superhero, would there be any functional difference in their attitudes and actions? Would anyone ever know? It's a cat. This is how they operate. Even a good cat basically feels like it already has world domination on its side. So, not exactly sure. See, I need to write notes during the week because I had all sorts of ideas during the week and I have nothing right now. I kind of wanted to get Joseph on at least to say hey, but he's tired because he has to wake. He's been at his family's all day today, and then he has to wake up at 4 in the morning to get ready for work at 6:30. So he's laying down right now. He's doing a little bit of computer and then he's going to bed. I'll probably be joining him soon. because this upcoming week is our 10-hour shifts. Yay! 10-hour shifts. So exhausting. I trimmed my beard, if you can see, because I was gonna have to eventually, because the blonde was gonna grow out, and it already is. So, hey, Streaky Zorel, Streaky Zorel, what are you doing over there? Okay. Just been busy with stuff. Reminded myself that I have a Twitter account, which I always forget about, and so I'm going to start trying to use that a little bit more, although I think I've lost a lot of my followers on Twitter, so I'm going to have to start trying to rebuild that or anything. Tempted to try to dig into my old Facebook account, my old MySpace account, just because it's still there, and my LiveJournal account, because I like LiveJournal. I actually have a lifetime account with them, which sounds like it's going to start becoming their lifetime, not mine. Thank God for... Oh no, they didn't, or else that place would be closed down. So, how has everyone been? Oh. I know in the past I've made comments about leaving comments. I have discovered something. On the audio podcast, there was a bit of coding that was wrong on my webpage. Now, I don't know how that happened, because I didn't mess with the coding, and as a matter of fact, I even tried changing web page styles, which should have just carried a new coding over into it. And yeah, I don't mess with their coding on this stuff. But lo and behold, the coding was messed up. It basically eliminated all possibility of anyone making comments. They've now fixed it for me. And you should be able to leave comments now. Before, I couldn't even see comments on the few that actually had comments. But now, you just click comments, you click on the episode, it'll take you there. You click comments, it'll take you to the spot where you can leave comments. If you click comments before you go to the episode, it'll take you to the episode, and then you still have to click comments again. So, that's how it is. Gay shows. Yeah, okay, so Project Runway is still boring the crap out of me. Okay, teams suck. Teams so suck. This is easily the most boring Project Runway season ever. And it's partially just because with them working as teams, I don't get to see the individuals so much. Even when they are working as individuals to a degree, each one working on their own thing, they all have to worry about someone else's as well. And it sucks. It's really diluting their individual efforts, and I know that in the real world they probably would have to work in teams, or on a team and all that. But let's be honest, that's not why we tune in. We don't tune into, no one tunes into American Idol, the concert choir. No, you tune in to see the individuals. So I don't know why they decided teams was going to work. It doesn't. The only thing interesting that's happened is I was happy to see that they finally, after all these years, did a duct tape challenge, because I've been wanting to, with various organizations around town, been wanting to do a duct tape gown competition for drag queens or something, or kings, or whoever, and to help raise money for charity, and then also just, have a fun little thing. And everyone always looks at me like I'm crazy. Kids have been doing this for years for proms, and lo and behold, finally they did it here. I didn't agree with who was sent home. I didn't think that they had the worst dress. Mr. New Judge, as a matter of fact, actually kind of annoyed me, because while they were on the runway, he defended them, stating that's what a prom dress looks like. He's done prom dresses. He does prom dresses all the time. The moment that they're gone, he kowtows and agrees with Heidi and them that, oh, it's so boring, da 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 da, let's send them home. And no, it shouldn't have been. They shouldn't have been sent home. That was actually a really pretty dress. The festive black and red dress I figured was safe. I wouldn't have made it win, not because I didn't like it. I actually did like it quite a bit. I thought it was a horrible prom dress. It's a party dress. It's not a prom dress. And then I would have sent home those guys with the gold thing. That gold thing was hideous, okay? It was as bad as the stupid bridesmaid or mother of the bride dress that was created the week before. That was every horrible cliche of an old lady dress. This was every horrible cliche of an 80s prom dress, okay? I mean, I don't even think you'll see something that horribly cliched in an 80s movie, okay? Check 16 Candles or something. I don't think you'll see it. Apparently Heidi is taking a page out of RuPaul by sending 2 home this week, so okay. Speaking of RuPaul, it was interesting to just watch everything just falling apart. Coco just really does need to go home. She's bringing nothing to the table. I mean, it was a tough call, in my opinion, especially since I get that they maybe saw a little bit more in Coco from what they saw of the photo shoot. But of the photo shoot, if they heard anything, and the one guy who did the photo shoot, or the video, or whatever you want to call it, even was there to point out that Coco was disruptive and basically bringing everybody down. The other one truly had no energy, but she did a great lip sync for your life. Coco turned it out for a lip sync for her life, but how many times do we got to hear about Coco not being there, not caring, not da 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 da? How many times do they got to have her down there and comment before they realize that she's the one that needs to go home? I'm glad that they made comment about Alaska because, while I like Alaska, Alaska's funny. Alaska's not really an innovative or interesting drag queen. And listening to her kind of turn on Toxic and Roxy was interesting because, while yeah, they're having fun, they're also winning. Okay, they're in the top. You maybe need to learn how to do what they do and bring yourself into this whole thing. They're having fun and just enjoying every moment of being there. So, I think that's pretty much my gay shows for this week. I honestly have not been able to catch up on TV so much with all of our conflicting schedules. It just doesn't happen. It was amazing that I got to watch those, to be totally honest. I caught Face Off, and it was really boring. It was a boring week on Face Off. I thought the challenge on there was to do a special effects creature with bioluminescence, which means that it would look one way in the light, and then when they turned off the lights and turned on the ultraviolet, it would look a different way, and it was supposed to be also natural. I don't think any of them understood what bioluminescence does or what it looks like. A lot of them just put spots or dots or whatever. There was only like 2 of them that seemed to kind of get what bioluminescence is. I would have sent home someone else. Eric Z would have been safe because where House would have been sent home because from concept to execution, that was a bad design. In concept, he just made a female version of the creature from the Black Lagoon. I mean, virtually nothing original about it. In execution, it was a blue lumpy creature from the Black Lagoon that wore a plastic plant bikini. The other guy may have been boring. House's was just bad design and unoriginal all the way through. So, I don't know. I'm not one of the judges there, and maybe they look different on stage. Not watching American Idol because I don't care. Okay, everything I hear, every time I hear one of those screechy contestants, this is like the worst batch of idol contestants I think ever. Okay, these are people who should not have made it to the audition. They should have been screened out before they got to see judges. But then again, it wasn't about the contestants, was it? It was all about the two chicks. Little Miss I Can Sing Any Note, just maybe not well, and Little Miss I'm Crazy Black Girl rapper thing who has only really 2 songs anyone's ever heard. Nicki Minaj and Mariah Carey. There we go. This could be the death of it. Okay, this could be the Batman and Robin of American Idol seasons. This is horrible. Except for I'm sure they're pulling in the numbers because people will watch this shit over and over and over again. Oh, also got to watch King of the Nerds, King of the Geeks. Got to see the season finale of that. They're already planning a next season for it, and I would have chosen the other girl as the winner, but I can't disagree with the one that won. And little pink-haired girl needed to be sent home long ago, and wow, was she bitter. And it was amazing how many times you could point out that she didn't know how to do things, and that's how come she ended up not being a winner in so many challenges, and yet she thought that she clearly knew how to do those things, except for those things that people, of course, don't know how to do. And I'm like, wait, you're a geek. What do you not get about the fact that geeks all know things that people don't necessarily know? That's part of the defining part of being a geek. Hi, I'm giving you guys attention again. Yes. Yes, you 2 little girls before you start being evil. Speaking of geeks, was talking to a coworker of mine, and I think I've figured out really where there's a certain line where geekiness comes in, and that is we were talking about movies, and I was talking about little parts of movies and how, like, oh, this was a really great performance, da 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 da. Too bad in this one section of the movie it had a problem there, but then it did recover such and such. And she commented about how, like, I seem to know a lot of little details about things. And maybe. But they're details of things that I like, and I think that's really one of the defining things about geekdom, because it's always a difficult thing. What makes a geek? Oh, you gotta like love comic books. No, you don't. You gotta love video games. No, you don't. You gotta like sci-fi. No, you don't. You can't be into sports. No, they're sports geeks. What is it that makes a geek? And I think it's a love and adherence to minutia. I think that's what it is. Things that you are not being paid to care about, you care about greatly. And maybe if you're lucky, you are being paid to care about it. Who knows? Okay, Mark Waid of comic books, he knows all sorts of minutia, and he's fortunately paid to write comic books, so he's probably in 7th heaven. But other than that, it's a case of, like, me, I know these little tidbits about comic books. I know these tidbits about movies. I know these tidbits about board games, role-playing games, things like that. I know weird tidbits about yarn and, as I like to call it, granny craft, where, knitting, crochet, stuff. So I'm kind of a knit nerd, if you want to call it that. I know many people who just, when it comes to fantasy football, those people are geeks. Those people are nerds, okay? Just because you're doing it with football instead of doing it with a +10 sort of cutting doesn't make you any less of a geek. You're doing the exact same thing, except for your guys don't know how to, like, kill dragons. It's all fantasy role-playing, and it's all based on just tiniest bits of minutia. So I think really that's a huge defining factor. It's not just liking. It's this uncontrollable drive towards minutia in certain activities and certain interests. And I need to stop touching my nose so much. I don't know. Well, okay. I know why I'm touching my nose a lot, because A, it feels like there's something on it. I feel like I got cat hair or something on it. But also, I think I've discovered that I have seasonal allergies. And at work, they keep trying to say that, like, oh, maybe you're getting this cold that's going around. I'm like, I don't think I got a cold. I think I'm fine, except for the fact that I have this runny nose and I make endless amounts of mucus. And I think that that is based on seasonal allergies, not this cold that's going around the office. So that's another part of me touching my face a lot. And anyone who's looking, if you're getting a chance, now, if you're listening to the audio podcast, you don't even know that I'm touching my face a lot, except for maybe if you get to hear me go, and you get to hear weird itching. But that's me. That took me doing a whole bunch of stuff to my beard that looks a lot more existent on video than it actually does in real life. Okay, this thing is not. See, when I turn to the side, you can see, unless you're just listening to the audio, in which case you can imagine. See, it disappears. Much like my eyebrows, it disappears. And then you have to, but when you see me head on, it looks like, oh, look, he's got a really ugly beard started. I don't know what I'm going to do with this ugly beard. I probably should shave it, but I'm kind of liking not shaving. I don't know why. I'm also a little curious to see what it's going to grow out to look like. How many more stripes of gray, because in my chin area here, doesn't matter how much I would like to claim to be a younger age or whatever, I have these 2 stripes of white hairs in my beard that will always keep me honest at being 44 right now. Gonna be 45 this year. So I can't lie about my age. It's right there. Even when I dyed it blonde, beard hair doesn't bleach as well as hair on top of your head hair. And therefore, it blonded, kinda. But you could still see the 2 white stripes in the middle of my beard. So, oh, look at that. I just shook everything. It looks like I just had a small earthquake. So, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, and if you've noticed, I'm trying to kind of control my vocabulary this week, because last week's podcast, while I actually kind of enjoyed it, even though it was rambly and random, kind of like this one, I dropped a couple F-bombs. I mean, a couple F-bombs more than what I think I should have. And especially since I think my little niece Mickey is going to be watching these probably more than listening to them on these video and audio podcasts, I really need to focus and keep this a little bit more Mickey appropriate. Okay, again, I don't think I actually say anything here that I wouldn't say in front of her with her mother present. Hi, Betsy. I don't think that, and if I ever would, I would definitely plant a big warning on the episode. But at the same time, there was a couple too many F-bombs last time. Yeah. So, I returned to the idea of working on a role-playing game concept, and I've actually started typing and getting it all formalized. Formalized? And hitting a little bit of stuckness here, but in the meantime, I kind of looked at other role-playing games just because, okay? Not even really looking for ideas, because I actually really kind of have an idea definitely how this one's going to go, and the world setting and all that. It's just a case of, it's kind of nice to look around. There's a couple things that I kind of need to look at to see, like, exactly how skills would be handled in this type of system or something like that. But one of the things that I was looking at is I was looking at the Marvel role-playing games, And those of you who don't play role-playing games, stick with me here because there's an interesting little thing that pops up. Originally, the same company that did Dungeons and Dragons came out with the Marvel role-playing game. It was the Marvel Heroes Adventure game or something like that. It did very well, and they even put out a more advanced version of it, kind of like how they did Dungeons and Dragons, and then they did Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. That gave you more options, more playability, kind of gave you more rules to play with. And it was very successful for a long time. Okay. Then they actually came out later, and yeah, I leaned over because I need to give the little horrible creatures in here some love. They came up with another version later on that, and actually I have them right here. Hold on. First, this is the advanced booklet. Okay, it's compared to other role-playing games, not super heavy duty, but the Marvel role-playing games usually were not like hardcore. The DC ones were more like hardcore, real role-playing. The Marvel ones were more softcore, like porn. No, more softcore, like that's something for Mickey to hear. They were just a little bit more free flow. Okay, we're not gonna bog you with a whole bunch of rules like other role-playing games do. We're just gonna get you to jump in and you get to be Spider-Man. Bam, yay. They eventually came out with, and this was a normal dice run role-playing game, like most role-playing games, most of the big ones, dice-based. Then they came out with what I personally think is the best system. In their regular role-playing system, they came up with the Saga system for Dungeons and Dragons. Then they came out with the Saga system for Marvel superheroes. And the cool thing about the Saga system is it was much less random than dice because it was card-based, and you had a deck of cards in your hand, or a hand of cards, and you played them, and you used those cards to build your character, and then after that you built your hand, and that's how you played your hand. And you got to kind of choose instead of just a random, oops, I rolled a 1, I guess I'm dead. No, I have a choice of a couple different cards, and while playing this means I may have to play a 1 somewhere down the line, I got a choice. It was a great system. Great system. Don't know why it didn't really pick up in either the Dungeons & Dragons system or the Marvel role-playing system. I don't know why. It was very user-friendly, especially the Marvel one. Because again, it was a simplified version of the Dungeons & Dragons one, and it was a very good system. As it is, this right here is the entirety of the entire system. This is it. They never came out with anything more than this, except for maybe some supplements on the website or in Dragon Magazine. Same thing with the D&D one. Eventually, TSR went out of business. Another company bought up the Dungeons & Dragons stuff. It's still going. Yay. Marvel, on the other hand, was not bought up as part of that, and Marvel eventually decided to try their own hand at making a role-playing game. The Marvel Universe role-playing game. Interesting thing about this is it was put out by Marvel. Yay. You had to get some of the supplies, or you didn't have to, but if you didn't want to tear apart your book, you really needed to get some of the supplies from the website and print them off. And they put no support into this. In spite of the fact that, from what I hear, it kind of hit with an interesting little splash. The main reason why it didn't hit with a bigger splash is because no one had anything more to do with it, because they only put out like maybe 3 books, including the main book. So, and that was over a course of a couple years, and they advertised that there was going to be 2 more books that never came out. And so that folded and died a horrible death, and you can probably find those books, those role-playing books, for like $5 somewhere, because places are trying to get rid of them. They just didn't sell. The Saga system, good luck finding that one. People love it. People realize how great it was. You're going to have to hunt for that one. this Marvel one, oh, no dice. You used little pebbles and allocated stuff, which was nice except for the fact that you had to make sure you had a flat surface because things could roll off. But other than that, okay. Now, that died a horrible death. Now there's a new one, and this is where hopefully you non-role-playing people will have stuck with me and find this interesting, because I'm curious to see if you see the same problem I do with the system. It is put out by Margaret Weiss, or Weiss, Publishing, who she is one of the designers of the Dragonlance series for Dungeons and Dragons, and she co-wrote a whole bunch of books with I believe Hickman. So I wish her and her company all the best. I hope to support it. This is actually a bit of advertising of sorts because it looks good. It does look good. Again, put out some supplemental stuff, okay? Don't let this be what's... I think there's one other book at this moment, and they are slowly rolling stuff out, and I'm like going, no, no, no. You need to give us a splash of stuff so that we know that there's a universe or a game to play in. And then, you know, then you can kind of like... You'll start seeing more benefits, okay? You need to actually, though, be brave enough to give us shit. Oh, sorry. But I think that's the only one so far. Here is the book. Okay. Marvel Heroic Role-Playing. Not a bad price for a role-playing system. For the core book, $19, or actually about $20. And you can get it much cheaper if you shop for it. I did. It's not bad. Again, it doesn't look like it's very dice-based. Well, I mean, it is dice-based, but it's really... you get to choose your dice in all sorts of different ways, okay? You're rolling buttloads of dice and then just choosing which ones you want to apply in what ways. So it still gives you choices, even though it's doing random dice. Here's an interesting thing. When people play these games, especially ones with set characters from like the DC universe. The reason why you do the DC universe is because someone wants to play Batman. Otherwise, you just create a generic superhero world. The reason why you come up with the Marvel universe is because someone wants to play Spider-Man. Again, or else you'd come up with a generic superhero universe. And there's plenty of generic ones out there. First of all, there isn't even a blank page in here, a blank character sheet in here for you to design your own. So you're kind of stuck doing one of their characters. It tells you how to design your own, but you'd have to kind of scribble it on like some college ruled paper or something like that. Although they do have sheets on the website. They have interesting little supplements on the website, but it's not enough. Get it out there. Okay. On your character sheet, let's say this is your character sheet. You're going to have a whole bunch of little spots on here where you're going to be putting dice or whatever. And then on the side, there's an area where you have to mark off a little thing. It helps you keep track. It's actually a very clever little idea. So you just move your little marker and it helps you keep track of what's going on. That's great. Okay. Now, they give you a whole bunch of characters that you can play in the book. Let's look at... well, let's go with the one that people want to play. Let's go with Spider-Man. Here's Spider-Man. Okay. Over here, we have... over here, we have his lovely picture and his bio information and stuff. Over here, we have the playing sheet. Now you'll see that here's a big blank area. This is basically for tabs or whatever, okay? It's just to make things clear for you. Here, let me get my finger into the center here. Here is the spot that you're wanting to keep track of with little markers. Does anyone else see a problem with putting little tabs and markers there to keep track of what you're doing? Miss Weiss Get your developers to switch the pages around so that the actual bio information is on a useless page, as far as center goes, and the part that you need to actually keep track of is not lost in the center of the book and can't be used. Okay, they actually even recommend things like paper clips to clip on to this. I don't know how you're going to put a paper clip into the binding. Stupid design moment. Okay, fix it. It looks like a better system, possibly, than that stupid design moment should have been. And you've been in the business long enough to know better. Okay, that's pretty much my little rant on that. I know a lot of you are not interested in video game or role-playing games or whatnot, but it is an interesting little side genre. I mean, Dungeons & Dragons is considered to be one of the classic games of the 20th century. Games Magazine actually put it in its Hall of Fame of games, along with Monopoly and Risk and, you know, others such as that. And it did birth a whole wide market of video games, or of role-playing games, that eventually became video games, a video game market like World of Warcraft and stuff like that. So it's an interesting side area. And then the fact that there's marketed things, you know, Hercules did some, and DC Heroes did some, and, you know, you could do Tales from the Crypt, and Men in Black, and a whole bunch of different ones. The idea that they messed up something as simple as that is just amazing. And again, from someone who's been in the business long enough, she should know better. This isn't me saying anything necessarily. I mean, I hope she fixes it and gets on with everything. Give it a try, give it a look. It looks like a clever combination of dice and choice. It's just the sheets they give you are useless. And interestingly enough, when you try to print out the sheets from the website, they print out to the wrong size. I don't know why. I don't know if that was just the computer at work or if that was something with their website. But hold on, I gotta. Now, Starro, little Starro, why are you not like keeping track of the cats? Hey, it's little Starro. Woo, woo, little Starro. That said, I think I'm pretty much shot for the night, because I do got to get to bed myself, because again, 10-hour weeks, and Joseph also going to work. So, and if I want to get this out in the next 24 hours, I got to get to work on that and still give myself time to rest. Oh, I appear to have lost maybe 5 pounds. Yay! It's not great, but it's something. And it may be because I get so busy at work that I don't even get a chance to have lunch. So, yeah, we don't actually have scheduled lunches at work. You just eat at your desk. But unfortunately, my job makes it to where I don't have time to get up and warm up any food. So, I just go without eating. Yay! But, that's neither here nor there. Oh, I want to give you guys an update on Sally. I thank you for the concern regarding Sally. We're thinking that she has some sort of spinal damage. The question is whether it's permanent or whether or not it's just damage and she'll heal. If she's going to heal, it'll probably still take about 2 months. Other than that, she's doing well. She eats, she squeaks, she runs around her cage, she poops, she pees, she farts. I've been putting her in the bathtub to swim. I felt so bad for her. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. Sometime during the night, she got rolled over under her back like a turtle, and she couldn't get rolled back over. And I have no idea how long she was like that. But she seemed none the worse for the wear for it when I rolled her over, and she, like I said, she eats and runs around and everything. When it comes time for the morning, she's squeaking for me to, like, hey, where's my food? And she comes right up, hey, give me my food. Give it to me. Where's it at? So, I don't know. It doesn't seem to be affecting anything health-wise other than her legs. So I don't know what to do there. I have been looking to see whether or not there's some way to make a little cart for her or something, and it's it's kind of odd, and I'm not exactly sure what I would do with a cart for her. Would I put her in her cage with a little cart, or is she just going to run around the house in a little cart? But she doesn't really run around the house that much because there are 10 cats, so not sure that that's gonna be a thing. That I don't know. I don't know. But we're keeping an eye on her still, and I do thank you for your warm wishes and your concerns regarding her. And I guess at this moment, time will tell. Also, if you get a chance, I know you hear me say this pretty much every week, but I'm going to say it again. Check out Joshua Tree Feeding Program. They help people with HIV and AIDS get food boxes every week. They're a great organization. Their website is www.jtfp.org. If you're in Glendale, give Bitsy Mamas a try. If you're looking for a book, try Jeannie Koch, because she writes fun stuff. I haven't mentioned her lately because I didn't want people to think that I was just here to pimp her out. But hey, I'm in the mood. I'm going to pimp her. I found I got a cool little record player type thing here that helps me make MP3s. So I have my Nichelle Nichols record now put onto MP3s. Yay! And I have a Sesame Street album that I put onto an MP3, which it's Sesame Street Monsters! Exclamation point. And I was originally going to put on a song from Harry Monster because I like Harry and he's always so forgotten. Everyone remembers Cookie and everyone remembers Grover, but no one remembers Harry. But in honor of my bear brethren, I found a better song. And so that's what we're going to close with. Is fur.
Fur? I am covered with fur. From my snoot to my spur. I'm a furry fella. Fur. When you stroke it, I purr. When you poke it, I purr. It's maroon and yellow. Fur. Keeps me warm when it's fur. Don't you wish that you were fairly bursting with fur, fur, fur? Yes, fur is beautiful, fur is clever. Furthermore, I'll love it forever. Fur, unforgettable fur. Now you may find fur too frightful, but I'd never switch. I find my fur delightful, but boy does it itch. You may see fur is horrible, I say no sir. To me my fur's adorable, and I'm covered with fur. I kinda grow it, fur keeps me warm when it's fur. Don't you wish that you were fairly bursting with fur, fur, fur? Yes, fur is beautiful, fur is clever. Furthermore, I'll love it forever. Fur, unforgettable fur. My head's in a whir, my thoughts are a blur when I think of my fabulous first-rate fur. Oh, fur, unforgettable, unforgettable fur. Fur, he's covered with fur. 2, 3, kick, ooch, from his snoot to his spur. 2, 3, 4, turn. He's a furry fella. Oh yeah. Fur, 2, 3, 4, dip. When you stroke it, he'll purr. Okay. Yeah. When you poke it, he'll purr. Oh yeah. It's maroon and yellow. Fur, 2, 3, double dip. Keeps it warm when it's fur. Hey, the kid's not there. Don't you wish that it was fur? Fairly bursting with fur, fur, fur. Go get him, kid. All right. Yeah. All right, boys, take me home. Fur.
Okay, and who knew the Muppets went there? Who knew? Especially the Sesame Street ones. For those of you who don't know what a bear is, it is a furry gay guy, many times a little bit bigger, a little stocky, Although you can have skinny ones and they can be wolves or otters or muscle bears, and you can have old ones that are what, polar bears, yeah, and black guys who are hairy who are black bears, and Asian ones that are panda bears, yeah. And if you're like me, who has virtually no hair on his body, you're just fat. Yeah. Oh well. See you next week. It's gonna be Superman. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So be there or be. Oh, look at me shaking things. It looks like another earthquake hit. Be there or be. I don't want to see square because what a weird cliche. It sounds like I'm like a leftover character from Happy Days. But still, just do it. Okay.